by the power of Grayskull. This is going to be awesome, guys. We have He-Man coming from Eternia to Teleria, and he is bringing his age-old enemy with him as well. So we have a brand new champion pass just launched. You can see I'm collecting all my bits and pieces here, but we have He-Man as the final champion. Can we the Elite Pass, you do have to pay for it, so $47.99. Do you know what, guys? If you are a spender in the game, and I don't advocate being a spender in the game, I do, unfortunately, but I skipped Xena, and it was actually stupid because you'd pay more for shards at times, so it's a no-brainer if you are a spender to go and do it. Now, I'm not buying that right now, but I want to see He-Man's kit, and it is not opening it for me. Actually, let's see. There we go. So, we have He-Man in-game. He's looking pretty cool, actually. He's looking pretty cool. They have massively made a mistake not having him as a mythical. No! Do you know what's coming next, guys? Right. My thought was He-Man as a mythical, as in he's Prince Adam, and then he turns into He-Man. The whing, I have the power, turns into He-Man. By the way, I'm a massive He-Man and Transformers nerd. I have all the comics from I was a kid in the 80s. The hat is to hide all the grey hair, guys. But yeah, I have loads of comics from I was a kid at home in my mum and dad's house. So this is super cool to me. But yeah, so my thought was mythical, as in Prince Adam, and then swing into He-Man, which would be really cool. But maybe the it's not a hound, but a mythical Battle Cat. So Cringer turning into Battle Cat. That'd be cool. So what's his kit? He's Sacred Order for a start. He's Magic Affinity. We gotta start being more diverse with the affinities. We need to balance. Force especially needs some more bangers. But yeah, Eternian Slash attacks one enemy, places an extra hit on enemies from the Corrupted Alliance. Okay. So that's all of the Demon Spawn, Undead, Night Revenants, and the one in the middle. What's that? So it's Demon Spawn, Undead, something, and then Night's Revenant. Answers below. Can't think what it is, and I'm not clicking out of this just yet. So, fills their turn meter by an additional 2% for each buff on this champion. Okay, also fills this champion's turn meter by 10% and fills their turn meter by an additional 2% for each buff. So he could get a 30% turn meter fill per A1 use at most. So you're not going to want to use this guy for clan boss. He'd be an absolute nightmare to speed tune. But he has an attack HP damage base. There's only two other champions in the game that have that, and they are Rotos and Mountain King, and both of them work differently. So we have to see how this is calculated, but that could be really good for being a tanky damage dealer. Attacks one enemy before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on himself, will ignore Stone Skin. If this attack kills an enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. Okay, so he is going to buff himself, he's going to ignore Stone Skin, and then he's going to turn meter fill everybody if he kills whoever he's attacking, which he should. He should be able to do that if he's ignoring Stone Skin and buffing himself before he goes. The other good thing about that is you don't need Your speed booster doesn't have to be an increased attack buffer as well, which is incredibly good because it opens up gameplay for you a lot more. So you can use Kimmy, you can use Loriaka, you know I love Loriaka, you can use the new Barbarian, Freya, so lots of opportunities there. Fantastic. Attacks all enemies on the A3. Damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for each buff placed on this champion before this skill is used. Oh, so it's not each active buff. Oh my god, lads, right, so it stacks up to 500% and it resets after the skill is used. So you build them with, you build them really slow. You could build him really slow and start getting loads of buffs on. Low resistance, get them stripped, place more, all that kind of thing. And it stacks up to 500%. That's a lot. That's a lot of rounds of buffing to get up to 500%. I'm not sure. Somebody like Sam Solstice, I was about to say Sam Sykes. Why do I always go to say Sam Sykes? Sam Solstice will probably have something out how to do something crazy with this. But yeah, I'm not sure how you'd get that up to 500%. That's, am I mad? 50? Yeah, it is 50. 50 buffs. I don't see any practical way to do it unless there's something here. So increases this champion's... Oh, well, actually, you could just keep on using A1, A2, A1, A2, and then go for this. Anyway, Master of the Universe. Wait, hold on. I have the power. I knew I have the power. Had to be in there. Okay, right. So, Master of the Universe, level 1. That's it, doesn't rank up. Increases this champion's attack and HP by 5% for each buff placed on this champion and stacks up to 50%. So he passively gets stronger for each buff on him. Each buff that has been on him. Places a 25% strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. Also places a 25% strengthen buff on this champion for 2 turns whenever an enemy's HP drops below 50% after this champion's attacks, and he's immune to petrification. Okay, so passively boosts his survivability and his damage, because attack and HP are his damage multipliers on all of his skills. So his survivability and HP go up. Then his survivability again at the start of each round, and whenever an enemy's HP drops below 50%, and he's immune to petrification. Excellent. And he comes with a 28% arena aura, arena speed aura. Huge. Very, very strong kit. Very strong kit. Can't wait to see how these multipliers work. For reference, what way do I have my screen here? For reference, I was about to say Rotos the Lost Bride, but for reference, Rotos here, if we look at his multipliers, so they're attack plus HP, but weighted in the attack's favor. So 3.5% attack plus 0.3 by HP. So that's just a third of his HP plus 3.5 of his attack, and similar down the way. So because Rotos doesn't have huge HP anyway, it's weighted more in favor of his attack. Now, the opposite of that, we have Mountain King. Oh, they've improved the search function on hellhades.com. Well done, lads. Really well done, actually. I'm impressed in that. It's a very small thing that a lot of people wouldn't notice, but they have improved the search function in hellhades.com, and that's really good. So, Thundercleave there. So you can see with him, the attack multiplier is a lot less on each of the things. So you've seen Rotos was 3.5 on the A2 and 1.8 on the A1. Similar HP multipliers though for Rotos. But the thing with Mountain King is these are a lot smaller, but the 3.5, like 30, that's 35% of his HP, right? As a damage value. So basically all of them are nearly a third, between a quarter and a third of his HP as one of the damage values, okay? Now, when you have a base HP of 31,000, that is significant. So if we think about Rotos was leading off with a base HP of 11,000. So it's pitiable compared to Mountain King, who has 3 times that. So when you're building up his HP, you're looking at getting into the realms of, I think mine, it's a little bit of a spoiler. I was doing a bit of testing on him recently, and I think he was up at 120,000 HP for his best damage or whatever. So when you're taking a third of that, you're talking about 40,000 as a damage calculation without the attack included. So that's going to be huge. So we have to see how those numbers are going to scale for He-Man. Now let's see, is he actually available here? Oh, we have a Forge part. Oh, we did have that live anyway. We have to see, is he available? We'll come back to this in a second because we have Skeletor live as well, which I'm very excited for. Will you stop? Man's just trying to get into what? That's yeah, okay, right. So is he here? He-Man, there we go. So with him fully leveled, his base HP is going to be 16,000 and his attack is going to be 1,400. So we don't have under our license to Classic Media, Mattel. Oh, Classic Media. Don't know who that is. Does he have lore as well? Yeah. So yeah, decent HP. Decent. So he is very much an attack champion. So is Mountain King, by the way. Decent speed. Defense is it's not great, actually, to be honest. But crit rate, crit damage is decent. Res and 0 accuracy. So, excellent. Did you see that? That's pretty cool. That's going to be in the thumbnail if I can get it. So He-Man looking really, really cool. And Dark Elves was the other corrupted one. Okay, so I'm going to say Skeletor is going to be in here. Has to be, right? There's Heraclitus, the new ones. He's not? He's hardly in Demon Spawn. Knights Rev. Oh, maybe Knights Revenant, considering. Okay, there he is. Yeah, yeah. Considering the Knights Revenant connection to the new clan boss coming out. By the way, guys, I'm going to fork out for these. Shouldn't, but it just makes sense. It just makes sense, unfortunately. If you're going to spend in the game 2 guaranteed, Skeletor is free, but He-Man will be the pass. So it makes sense, unfortunately, if you are going to fork out, that you fork out for guaranteed stuff rather than buying shards to gamble on getting something, you know. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of a random debuff on the target by 1 turn. I'm never a huge fan of this on a single target, but it is good. double hit can increase one debuff twice or two random debuffs separately. Damage based on HP. He's a support champion. Okay. Attacks one enemy. Has a 75% chance of placing petrification on the target for one turn. So I'm guessing the new clan boss is going to have something that petrification can deal with. If the target is a boss, places a 50% decrease attack debuff and a 30% decrease speed debuff for 2 turns instead. Okay, so maybe not. So that's no use there. But decrease the attack and decrease speed. So that would be good on Fire Knight. No good. Well, decreased attack on Dragon, wouldn't land decreased speed, would land it on Spider, would land it on Ice Golem, and actually very important on Ice Golem. Yeah, good for all bosses really, even though decreased speed won't land on most of them. Whenever a petrification debuff is removed or expires on an enemy, has a 50% chance to place a 30% decreased speed debuff on that enemy for 1 turn. Okay, so if it's not a boss, it just if it is a boss, it just places the 2 of these at the one time. If it's not a boss, it petrifies and then does decreased speed. Okay, books up to a 4-turn cooldown and 100% chance of landing with 1 cool. Oh no, books to a 3-turn. Okay, that's much better. And actually, I like how they've done this. That you get one of the cooldowns earlier. Okay, Begone Fools. Wait, what's his captions? Skull Comet, Havoc Sight, and Begone Fools. Master Heal. Okay, places a 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Okay. Also has a 75% chance to steal any block debuffs, buffs, and 1 other random buff from each enemy. Okay. Then decreases all enemies' turn meters by 15%. If an enemy is from the Telerian League, decreases that enemy's turn meter by 30% instead. I'm not blown away so far, guys, at all by Skeletor. He's the free login champ, so let's see what his passive does. Okay, that's an AoE decrease. Increase chance to steal any block debuffs, buffs, and 1 other random buff. Yeah, I'm not, like, if it was irresistible or something, he'd be great, but with an increased accuracy first, that is good. Yeah, okay. Whenever this champion attempts to place a debuff, steal a buff, decrease an enemy's turn meter, or increase the duration of an enemy debuff on an enemy, okay, this is cooking, increases this champion's accuracy by 20 for each buff on that enemy. Okay, so not irresistible, but very, like, gets exponentially better. Not exponentially, I think we all use that wrong, but gets increasingly better for each debuff that the enemy has. Okay, liking this a lot. Whenever this champion is hit, has a 40% chance to place a decrease resistance buff on the attacker for 1 turn. This chance increases to 75% against champions from the Telerian League. I'd like that to be higher. Obviously, 40% chance means it's less than half the time. This does make his kit much better. So you still have to build him with accuracy, but he kind of nearly should be outdoing anybody's resistance. Now, depending on your level in the game, does this work against everybody? Yeah, yeah, okay, this could be really good for bosses that you can't quite reach the stat requirements for yet. So, like, I know they brought them down, but Sand Devil and stuff like that. But yeah, you're talking about for each buff on the enemy. If he had a cut-in mechanic or something as well, that would make a lot of sense, I think. I think his kit is good, but not super great. But it depends on your area of the game. This being a single target, maybe if he had a debuff spread as well. I'm way more excited for He-Man than for Skeletor, and I want Skeletor to be actually quite cool. So I think he's very good. What I can see so far, his kit is really around debuffing. He is self-buffs his own accuracy, strips, buffs your team with increased accuracy, and also decreases turn meter as well. So very, very good so far. So really, with the decreased resistance and the increased accuracy, your team should be landing all the debuffs all the times. Looks very good. Also has an increase. It increases Ali McBeal's accuracy in all battles by 60. Yeah, he's good. He is not somebody that I would be wetting myself in excitement over. This summon pool, I knew this summon pool was coming. This is going to be for Volcanos, isn't it? And God damn it. Yeah, I do want him. Crystal offers, what do we have? Yeah. Too many things. They're doing the Christmas ramp up again, and it left me feeling really bad after Christmas last year. But I have to say, the free Skeletor champion, that's really good. We're going to get a soul with him as well. He's going to be a debuffer. He's going to be a debuffer stripper, and he is going to be buffing your team, lowering enemy resistances. So he's going to be quite good for that, with the soul there as well. Getting up to a 5-star soul. Like, for me, like even getting the stuff along the way, if no matter what level you are, no matter what level you are on your account, I would recommend definitely pushing for him and for the 5-star soul. It should not be difficult if you are actually trying to do it at all, unless you take a few days off. So it is a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, it's probably 4 weeks maybe, something like that. But if you're getting in and doing your bits and pieces, it should not be difficult to do. Definitely getting a 5-star soul on an accuracy and debuff based champion and all that kind of thing is going to be very good, because he could be good in arena with petrification, all that kind of thing. Especially, he basically has an inbuilt ignore resistance factor on his account. It's early, guys. I just seen this pop up and I got in to record. That's why I have the hat on as well, not only to hide the grey. I haven't brushed my hair yet because I was knee deep in anatomy and physiology when I seen this come true. But the fact that he buffs himself with all that accuracy and has the decreased resistance, it's going to be so good for polymorph and for brimstone and stuff like that. So depending on if your focus is PvE or PvP, he's going to have applications with that 5-star soul. So to be able to get a champion, a Lego champion and a 5-star soul relatively cheaply. Like, there's no money involved in this if you do not want there to be. Okay, so definitely go for them. Push for the 5-star soul, regardless of your account level. The He-Man one, if you are a spender, it's probably one of the best ways you can spend. I'm still sorry I didn't do Xena. I listened to the zeitgeist on Reddit and CCs and people giving out and all that kind of thing. A little bit too much. I should not have, because I guarantee you that month I probably spent that money getting sacred shards or something anyway. I'm not free to play. I'll never ever pretend to be. I do try and keep it to a minimum. I do not promote spending on the game, but if you are a spender, you're actually getting something for your money, not the chance of something. Although I suppose you do still have to level up this thing. So yeah, it's probably, if you are a spender, one of the wiser ways to spend. So that is my thoughts, guys. Very excited for He-Man, and Skeletor is good to get because you're going to be able to get him passively if you're playing the game daily. So he'll be very good just for that alone. And now we have the Prism Pool as well active, so that's another spend thing as well. Not going to be doing that, I don't think, much as I do want to. Let's just look at the calendar here and see where they're probably live actually in here. But there's generally 2 events where you can get the crystals off them. So the champion training tournament, you can get a soul pull, and there doesn't appear to be anything else actually up yet. I'm just looking at the event calendar here. There doesn't appear to be anything else there, guys, to get for a soul pull for He-Man champ training. Yeah, so that's only available till then, so it has to be before here. Fire Night Tournament? No. Dungeon Divers, maybe? No. What's that? Oh. Okay, so that's it. We only have one opportunity to get the crystals there, and it looks to be the champ training. So that is it from me, guys. A lot of those events will be are live already. The champion stuff and the training and that will be live in the next few minutes, which will, when this video goes up, already be live. Guys, thanks for joining me. That's I hope you're as excited as I am to get He-Man. If you're an 80s kid, you will be. I think he had a couple of revivals, but yeah, go on. Thanks a million, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.